Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scout Sports 101 Monday Night Football Week 10 recap show. We're going to recap last night's game. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles were handed their first loss of the season at the hands of the Washington Commanders, 32-21 last night at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This was a very surprising game in Philly last night. Washington has waffled at times on its offensive identity, but that wasn't the case Monday night as the Commanders ran the ball 49 times, their most in any game since 2002, 452 yards. It wasn't explosive, but it was effective, and it helps that running back Brian Robinson Jr., who missed the first 4 games after being shot twice in the lower body in an armed robbery attempt in August, has found a rhythm, to make a nice pairing with Antonio Gibson. And a lot of people still feel that Tyler Heinicke should be the the Commanders' starting quarterback. Well, and the Commanders just really had the Phillies' number last night. And as for the Eagles, they struggled offensively and defensively. And the absence of Jordan Davis, that really looms large. And the Eagles had way too many turnovers that costed them the game, and too many other mistakes as well. And they were not able to control the ball in this game. And then there were none. No undefeated teams left in the NFL. And right now, I'm going to recap this game for you. I'll give you the highlights for the Commanders, lowlights for the Eagles. First quarter, the Commanders had a fumble, and it was Tyler Heinicke sacked at Washington 18 for minus 10 yards, and it was and Sweet fumbles. He fumbled it, and it was recovered by, I think it was Mike Tupelo at the Washington 18. And then the Eagles scored their first touchdown of the game. Jalen Hurts up the middle for the 1-yard touchdown. Jason Elliott's field goal was good. The extra point was good, and it was 7-0 Eagles. But the Commanders came right back and scored their first touchdown of the game. Antonio Gibson, right guard for the 1-yard touchdown. I made a mistake. Antonio Gibson, not Aaron Gibson, as I said last night. But Antonio Gibson, right guard for the 1-yard touchdown. Joey Sly's extra point is good, and it was Eagles and Commanders tied at 7. Then the Eagles scored their second touchdown of the game. And it was first and goal at the Washington 6. Jalen Hurts pass short middle to Dallas Goedert for the 6-yard touchdown. Elliott's extra point was good, and it was 14-7 Eagles. And the Commanders got into field goal range. It was a 4th and 6 at the Philly 26. Joey Sly's 44-yard field goal attempt was good, and it was 14-10 at the end of the first quarter. Now, this is when the Eagles weren't able to control the ball and struggled. And it was an interception. First and 10 at the Philly 45. Excuse me. Jalen Hurts passed deep middle intended for Brown at the Brown at the it was intercepted by I it was Derek Forrest at the Washington or Damon Forrest at the Washington 14. It was for no gain. And then the Commanders got the ball back, and they scored their second touchdown of the game. It was Brian Robinson Jr., left guard, for the 1-yard touchdown. Joey Sly's extra point is good, and it was 17-14 Commanders second quarter, and they had taken the lead for the first time. The Eagles had to punt after going 3 and out, 3 plays for 5 yards. And the Commanders then got into field goal range again, and they saw for a field goal. 3rd and 10 at the Philadelphia 40. Joey Sly's 58-yard field goal was good, and it was 20-14 Commanders at halftime. Then in the third, the Eagles had to punt after going 3 and out, 3 plays, 7 yards. Then the Commanders got into field goal range. It was 4th and 14 at the Philadelphia 14, and Joey Sly kicked a 32-yard field goal, and it was good, and it was 23-14. But then the Eagles scored their 3rd touchdown of the game. Jalen Hurts passed short middle to Smith for the 11-yard touchdown. Elliott's extra point is good. And the Eagles were down by 2, 23-21. 23-21 at the end of the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, the Commanders had an interception. Tyler Heineke pass deep left intended for Terry McLaurin, intercepted by Gardner Johnson at the Philadelphia 7, and was for no gain. And then the Eagles got the ball back, but then they had a fumble. And it was a 1st and 10 at the Philly 31. Jalen Hurts pass short right intended to Dallas Goedert to the Philadelphia 33 for the 2 yards. But then they fumbled. It was recovered by Davis at the Philadelphia 34 for the 34-yard touchdown. The replay official reviewed the runner was knocked down by the contact ruling, and the play was reversed. Jalen Hurts passed short right to Dallas Goedert to the Philadelphia 33 for the 2 yards, and then Davis fumbled, and it was recovered by Davis of Washington at the Philadelphia 34 for no gain, and Dallas Goedert was injured during that play. We don't know how serious the injury was, but now, and then the Commanders got in the field goal range again, and it was 4th and 12 at the Philadelphia 36. Joey Sly, his 55-yard field goal is good, and it was 26-21 Commanders. Then the Eagles fumbled again, and it was Jalen Hurts pass deep middle to Watkins to the Washington 23 for 50 yards, and then St. Justy fumbled it. I think it's Brian St. Justy or something like that. Fumbled, touched at Washington 20, recovered by Derek Forrest, I think Derek or Damon Forrest at the Washington 15. Pushed out of bounds at the Washington 27 for 12 yards. And the Commanders got the ball back. And then they had to punt. They're going 3 and out, 3 plays, 8 yards. And then Philly had to punt. They're going 3 and out, 3 plays, minus 8 yards. And then Washington, the Commanders are the punt to go 3-and-out, 6 plays, 6 yards, and then right at the end of the fourth quarter, another fumble, and it was an Eagles fumble. Jalen Hurts passed short right, intended for Watkins to the Philadelphia 15 for 5 yards, and then to D. Smith to the Philly 5 for 10 yards. Fumbles recovered by Washington Toohill to the Philly 1, and it was for a 1-yard touchdown, and that would upend the Eagles' undefeated season. Their course for it, and nonetheless, the Washingtons make a statement and get the win by the final score of 32-21. And yes, as I said, Washington made a really big statement with this win. And I got to give out the game balls. Tyler Heineke, 17 of 29 carries and attempts, 211 yards. 1 interception. Brian Robinson Jr., 26 attempts, 86 yards, 1 touchdown. And Terry McLaurin, 8 receptions and 128 yards. So this was one of those games where anything could happen, and the Eagles just could not control the ball, and they get the win. The Commanders get the win, excuse me. And my brother-in-law, Eric Weil, and I, we both had Philly and lost on it, and we tied with a record of 5-9 for this week. So I'm now 6-2-2 on the picks, on our picks. And then my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle, is 3-5-2. So we'll see what happens this week. And I'm gonna, when Thursday Night Football will kick off Week 11, and it'll be the Tennessee Titans taking on the Green Bay Packers at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Chicago Bears will take on Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Carolina travels to Baltimore to take on the Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium. The Browns travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills, which is a must-win for the Browns this week. The New York Jets travel to Gillette Stadium to Foxborough to play the Patriots. The Rams travel to New Orleans to the Superdome to play the New Orleans Saints. Well, I said Lions travel to MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. The Las Vegas Raiders travel to Denver to take on Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. The Dallas Cowboys travel to Minnesota to U.S. Bank Stadium to take on the Minnesota Vikings. The Bengals travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California to take on the LA Chargers. On Sunday Night Football at 8:20 and Monday Night Football at University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. The San Francisco 49ers will take on the Arizona Cardinals. And the bye weeks, on the bye week this week, Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle, and Tampa Bay. And yes, Washington makes a statement, a big-time statement to get the win over the Philadelphia Eagles for this week. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football recap show. I'll be back with the Thursday Night Football pregame show before the Titans-Packers game, and then the postgame show to follow. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.